Hey there, Blox Fruits fans. If you're diving into the world of devil fruits, then you already know how crucial they are to your journey. Whether you're using a basic fruit to help you farm, or one of those super rare fruits to dominate your enemies in combat, knowing which ones are worth your time is key. Today, we're breaking down the best devil fruits in Blox Fruits to help you figure out which ones should be in your inventory. We've taken everything into account, the rarity, price to value ratio, and overall power, so you can spend your time and Beely wisely. So, if you've been wondering which devil fruits are the real game changers, look no further. We've got a complete tier list that ranks all the fruits, from the most common to the legendary ones. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up your powers, this list will help you make the best choices. Don't forget to check out the latest Blox Fruits codes too to get some nice bonuses for your adventure. Let's jump into it. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking fruits in Blox Fruits. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Gravity, Diamond, Falcon, and Barrier. Let's dive into the world of Blox Fruits, where today we're talking about some of the D tier fruits. These fruits might not make you the strongest on the block, but they have their own quirks that can make them fun in the right hands. Let's start with Gravity, which sounds cool, right? You think it's all about slinging enemies around, but it's more about timing and predicting where your foes are going. Gravity can dish out decent damage and has some great combo potential, especially with that huge hitbox on its V move. Plus, all of its moves break instinct, which is a big deal if you're up against players who rely on dodging. However, it's pretty slow, like painfully slow. This fruit struggles in air or water combat, and against faster fruits like Light or Portal, you're probably not going to catch up. So, if you're into slower paced fights, Gravity's combo potential might be fun, but prepare to get outpaced in most situations. Plus, the casting times on its moves are long, so enemies have plenty of time to dodge. It's a bit of a grind to get the most out of this fruit, and it's not the best choice for beginners. Next up, let's talk about Diamond. Honestly, this one's not terrible, especially if you're looking for something cheap and easy to obtain. If you're a sword, gun, or fighting style main, Diamond's defense buff from the Z move can be a lifesaver. It's also fantastic for grinding since all of its moves hit multiple targets at once. It's a solid fruit for clearing mobs and holding your own in fights, and all of its moves can break instinct. But here's the catch, if you're planning to use it in PvP, you'll need a bit of skill. It's not the easiest fruit to master in a fight, and it can be a bit predictable at times. Falcon is another fruit that's fun to use, but it's got its own set of problems. It's perfect for chasing down knockbacked enemies, but you better have good aim, especially if you're a fruit main, because its hitbox is pretty small. On the downside, it's a nightmare for grinding. Its knockback and single target focus don't make it great for clearing mobs. Add to that the fact that it doesn't have any instinct breaking moves, and you've got yourself a fruit that's a little tricky to use effectively. In terms of damage, Falcon's also not going to blow anyone away. And honestly, it's probably the weakest beast fruit out there. Let's move on to Barrier. Now this fruit has a fun side, trolling and hit and run playstyles. It's great for controlling the area and has decent defense against ranged attacks, so it's not all bad, but don't expect it to be your go-to for grinding. Unless you're fighting bosses, it's not exactly a power player when it comes to NPCs. The mobility move isn't great for horizontal movement either, so if you're trying to zip around quickly, you're out of luck. It does have some decent damage, but the real catch is that some of its moves leave you open to attack. However, a sneaky move like Easy can help you out of a tight spot if timed right. Each of these D tier fruits has its own charm, but they also come with some pretty clear drawbacks. Gravity is slow, but has potential for great combos. Diamond is fantastic for defense and grinding, but can be hard to use in PvP. Falcon's aim is its strength, but grinding with it is a pain. Barrier offers decent control and defense but lacks in mobility. If you're just starting out or looking for something that isn't too hard to use, these fruits might be worth considering. But if you're aiming for top tier performance, you might want to look elsewhere. So to wrap it up, these D tier fruits may not be the best of the best, but they can still be fun and useful in certain situations. Whether you're grinding for levels, messing around with friends, or just looking to experiment, they've got their own little place in the game. Just remember, sometimes the journey is more fun than the destination, and even these low tier fruits have their moments. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Revive, Rocket, Spike, Spin, Ashring, and Smoke. Let's talk about some of the fruits in Blox Fruits that are a little more on the meh side, you know? They're not terrible, but they definitely aren't the go-to options if you're trying to dominate the seas. If you're just starting out or looking for something chill, they might do the job, but don't expect them to carry you to the top. First up, we've got Revive. It's one of those fruits that you can grab without breaking the bank. It doesn't take much to master, and honestly, it's pretty easy to get your hands on. But let's talk about the downsides. Revive doesn't have any ranged attacks, which is a pretty big deal when you're dealing with mobs or other players who can attack from a distance. Plus, it's not great for grinding because it lacks elemental immunity and its damage dealing moves aren't that impressive. Sure, it's ground based and you could try to run away when your first life's up, but when it comes to combos, Revive isn't your best friend. Then there's Rocket. If you're looking for something that's easy to get, Rocket is your fruit. It's always on stock and is one of the cheapest fruits in the game. You don't need much mastery, the cooldowns are fast and it has decent mobility for something that's so common. The moves are solid with no or low end lag and it's actually pretty good for grinding in the first sea. But here's the catch, it doesn't do much damage. Oh, and its aerial attacks are weak. You've got a few moves that only target the ground, which can be frustrating if you need to hit anything flying around. Let's move on to Spike. This fruit is about as common as they come, and it won't cost you much either. The combo potential is nice, but that's where the fun ends. If you're expecting Spike to be good for aerial combat, think again, it's pretty bad up there. Plus, the moves require you to hold them down for full damage, which means you're left open for a bit. It's not elemental, so if you're looking for a reliable grinder, this fruit isn't your friend. It also only has 4 moves, and none of them are great at dishing out big damage. Spin is another one that's easy to find, and let's face it, you can't really go wrong with something that's always in stock. Its large hitboxes are a nice touch, and with 2 travel moves, Tornado Assault and Helicopter Flight, you can zip around the map pretty quickly. But it's not perfect. Spin only has 1 ranged move, and its damage, well, it's pretty low. You'll be doing a lot of spinning around, but don't expect to be knocking out bosses anytime soon. Spring is a fun one, but it doesn't exactly pack a punch. It's easy to obtain, has low mastery requirements, and offers good mobility. All of its moves are multi-target, which sounds great, but here's the kicker, its area of effect is just terrible. You won't be using this fruit for grinding since its damage output is on the lower end. Plus, when it comes to trading, you won't be getting much value from Spring. It's fun for some mobility, but that's about it. Now, let's talk about Smoke. This one's a bit of a mixed bag. On the plus side, it's elemental and gives you immunity or reflex, so that's a big win. It also has surprisingly high damage for something that's so cheap. It's great for grinding in the first CNC beast hunting because its skills can deal damage to those big guys. However, the range isn't stellar, and some of its moves are pretty easy to dodge, making it a bit less reliable as you progress through the game. It's awesome for a beginner, but once you hit the 2nd or 3rd sea, you might find that Smoke isn't as viable for grinding anymore. In the end, these fruits aren't going to change the game for you, but they're decent enough if you just need something to get you through the early stages. Whether you're just casually vibing or experimenting with different playstyles, they can offer some fun moments. Just don't expect them to be your main source of power if you're looking to truly wreck opponents or dive deep into the higher seas. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Quake, Love, Dark, Pain, Bomb, and Rubber. Alright, let's dive into some of the Blox fruits that are good, but not quite top tier. These fruits are like that solid option you turn to when you're not aiming for the absolute best, but still want something powerful and fun. Trust me, some of these can surprise you with their utility. First up, we have Quake. Now, Quake has this amazing thing where most of its moves have insane knockback, and we're talking huge hitboxes here. It's almost like you're throwing an earthquake around. If you're into AoE damage, Quake is your buddy, especially if you've got a wall to aim that Z Quake punch at. It's pretty easy to use, so beginners will love it. However, here's the kicker. Quake's lack of mobility and its long cooldowns might drive you mad if you're used to more fast-paced gameplay. Oh, and the screen shakes while using it, which is cool for a bit, but might mess with your focus after a while. Plus, the knockback makes grinding a bit annoying, but hey, if you can work around that, it's a solid fruit for sure. Then we've got Love, which is a whole different vibe. This fruit shines in aerial combat, making it awesome for boss hunting. The aerial advantage lets you keep enemies at bay, but the damage is a bit lacking. Still, it's super fun and easy to use with low end lag on all its moves. And let's talk about that Love Struck effect. Talk about causing chaos. It's perfect for disrupting opponents. But yeah, the overall damage output isn't the best, so you might have to rely on strategy and timing to get the most out of it. Still, it's a decent choice if you love flying around and messing with your enemies. Now, Dark is one of those fruits that's just perfect for newbies. Why? Well, it's an elemental fruit with low mastery requirements, so you can unlock its full potential pretty quickly. Plus, the stuns are super handy, making it great for comboing with other moves. But here's the thing, its damage is pretty low compared to other fruits, and when you awaken it, it doesn't get that much of a boost either. It's not great for aerial combat, and it definitely isn't the best for grinding. Dark works wonders in PvP if you're good with timing but miss your moves, and you might find yourself wide open for a counterattack. Definitely not the fruit for grinding though. Let's switch gears to Pain. Now, Pain has some serious combo potential. You can really dish out some damage if you know how to use it, and it works regardless of your stat distribution, which is great for more flexibility. It's fast too, except for the C Pain nuke, which has a little startup time. The range on most moves is impressive, but hitting in aerial battles? Well, that's a whole other story. Pain requires a good aim and the ability to predict where your enemy is going to be. But hey, if you're an experienced player, Pain can be a beast for PvP and bounty hunting. Just don't expect it to be the easiest fruit for beginners. Bomb is next, and while it's a common fruit, it can be pretty powerful. It's easy to get, and its damage is solid for a common fruit. All its moves break instinct, which is a nice little bonus. But here's the downside, most of its moves are slow to start up, and you're pretty immobile when you're using them. So, while you can dish out damage, you're also leaving yourself wide open for a counterattack. The lack of range and high mastery requirements compared to other common fruits mean it's not the best choice unless you really like the blast vibe. Rubber is a quirky fruit that offers some unique advantages. First off, it gives you immunity to rumble and electric fighting style, which is a neat little perk. It also makes you immune to gun attacks. The damage is pretty high, and it's great for bosses and raids because it offers stuns and AoE damage with decent range. When you transform, your speed, damage, knockback, and range get a serious boost, so it becomes much more dangerous. The downside, you have to get close to land your hits, and it's a bit tricky to use in PvP. Plus, the untransformed moves don't break instinct, which can be a problem when you're up against other powerful fruits. Still, rubber's got its uses for those who love close range combat. Each of these fruits brings something to the table. Whether it's Quake with its stunning AoE damage, Love with its aerial potential, Dark with its combo power, Pain with its versatility, Bomb's surprising punch, or Rubber's unique immunity and transformation boost, they're all solid choices depending on your playstyle. So don't sleep on these fruits. They might not be S tier, but they definitely have their moments. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Portal, Ice, Blizzard, Light, Magma, Phoenix, Sound, Control, Shadow, Spirit, Rumble, Venom, Spider, and Flame. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of Blox Fruits, specifically focusing on some of the A-tier fruits. These fruits are not just powerful, but incredibly versatile, offering a range of abilities that can cater to different playstyles. So grab your fruit and let's get into it. First up, let's talk about Portal. This fruit is hands down one of the best for mobility. With 4 mobility moves, it's fantastic for dodging fights or escaping when you're in a tight spot. Whether you're up in the air or on the ground, Portal's unpredictability makes it a great pick for PvP. It's especially awesome for chasing down faster enemies like Light or Leopard, but be warned, it's not the best for damage unless you're using the Z move, so it's more suited for sword or gun mains rather than fruit users. But for those who love mobility and surprise attacks, it's a blast to use. Next on the list is Ice. If you're looking for a fruit that combines farming efficiency and PvP potential, Ice is your go-to. Its stuns and AoE moves make it a solid choice for grinding and even raiding. The ability to walk on water is a nice bonus, and its wide radius moves make it hard to miss targets. However, it does struggle in the air and isn't the best option against higher tier enemies in the later seas. Still, for beginners or players looking for a solid all-around fruit, Ice does a lot right. Now, Blizzard is up next, and let me tell you, this fruit is a powerhouse for PvP and grinding. With multiple stuns and wide AoE moves, Blizzard shines in boss fights and raids. The V move, Blizzard Domain, is especially fantastic for wiping out groups of enemies. However, it does suffer from slow move speeds and high end lag, which can leave you open to attacks if you miss. But if you're looking for a fruit that can hold its own in both PvP and PvE, Blizzard is definitely worth considering. Speaking of mobility, Light is another A-tier fruit that excels in that department. With high speed, long-range attacks, and the ability to move around quickly, it's a versatile fruit for both PvP and grinding. Plus, its combo potential is through the roof. While it might struggle a bit in the later seas due to elemental immunity and aura, it's still a solid pick if you want a fruit that offers both speed and damage. Just remember, it's not the best for sea beast hunting, so keep that in mind. If you're in the early to mid game and looking for fruit that's strong in both damage and versatility, Magma is the way to go. With high AoE damage and great elemental immunity, it's one of the best for grinding and boss fights. Its low mastery requirements make it easy to pick up, and its ability to walk on water once awakened adds even more utility. That said, Magma's moves are slow and can be easily dodged in PvP, so it's best paired with other support fruits or abilities. Moving on to Phoenix, this fruit is a great option for players who enjoy a support role. With healing capabilities and stun immunity in certain situations, Phoenix excels in raids and bounty hunting. However, it does lack in stuns and its attack moves are a bit hard to land. It's not the best for grinding in the early stages, but can be a lifesaver in longer, tougher fights, especially if you need to heal up or escape. Let's not forget about Sound, a fruit that's fantastic for both grinding and raids. With AoE attacks, Sound is a great choice if you want to deal damage and provide support in group fights. It has a huge hitbox and can deal decent damage, but its cooldowns are on the slower side, and it lacks in stuns and combos. It's a solid option for players looking to support their team, but might fall short when you need quick bursts of damage. Next, we've got Control. A very versatile fruit. It works for a variety of builds, fruit, sword, or even gun mains. Its stuns and mobility make it fun to use, and with high combo potential, you can dish out some serious damage. But the catch, Control has some of the highest mastery requirements in the game, so it's not exactly beginner friendly. Plus, you'll need to be precise when using its moves since they can be avoided if the enemy steps out of the area. Shadow is another fantastic choice for PvP, offering great mobility and damage. It shines in boss fights due to its high damage output and combo potential. But, like many other fruits, it does have high mastery requirements and requires good aim, especially in aerial battles. It's also less effective in sea events, where only a couple of moves can hit sea beasts. Still, if you're skilled with it, Shadow can be a beast in 1v1 PvP. Lastly, Spirit rounds out our A tier list, and let me tell you, this fruit is all about high damage and versatility. With AoE moves and insane combo potential, Spirit excels in PvP and grinding. The best part? It has a great counter to fruits like Dose, with its DOT abilities. However, Spirit does come with some hefty mastery requirements, so it's not for the faint of heart. Its slow moves and long cooldowns can be a bit of a downside, but once you get the hang of it, Spirit is a game changer. And there you have it, folks. That's our breakdown of some of the top A tier fruits in Blox Fruits. Whether you're looking for mobility, damage, or versatility, these fruits can serve you well in a variety of situations. So, which one's your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Blox Fruits content. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Dragon, Kitsune, Leopard, Dogu, Gas, Yeti, Buddha, Mammoth, and T-Rex. So you're diving deep into the world of Blox Fruits and wondering what fruits really stand out in the game, huh? Well, if you're looking for the absolute top tier picks, I've got you covered. Let's talk about the S tier fruits that will make you feel like an unstoppable force, whether you're grinding, PvPing, or just showing off your moves. These fruits are what legends are made of, and trust me, they're as awesome as they sound. First up, we've got Dragon. Oh boy, this one is a beast. It has some of the best combo potential in the game and is absolutely killer in ground PvP. The damage, insane. Plus, it's a fantastic grinding fruit, especially in hybrid form. Sure, it's one of the most expensive fruits out there and comes with high mastery requirements, but if you've got the skills, it's totally worth it. Just watch out for that huge hitbox though. It can make you a bit of a target in PvP, but if you master the moves, you can solo every raid, including Do. It's definitely a top pick if you're looking for a fruit with raw power and versatility. Next, we've got Kitsune, the fox fruit that's pretty much a speed demon. With 3 tails, it lets you zoom across the map and break instinct with ease. The damage is high and the stuns are long, making it perfect for both grinding and PvP. It's got great mobility, can walk on water, and even has a nice speed and a damage buff. But here's the kicker. It's one of the rarest fruits to obtain, so if you've got one, you're holding on to something special. The only downside is that it can be tough to use in tight spaces like Mansion, and it's no longer the fastest fruit after the speed nerf. Still, in the right hands, Kitsune is a monster. Leopard is another one that brings high damage and low cooldowns, making it a fan favorite. This fruit is fast and has some seriously slick maneuvers, but it's not for beginners. The high mastery requirements and lack of AoE make it harder to grind with, so it's really more suited for those with experience. Plus, it's not easy to get, and it's pretty expensive. Still, once you master Leopard, you'll be zooming around the map, delivering high damage combos. Just be wary of your defense, it's not the best, so you'll need to play smart in PvP. Then there's Dough, and let me tell you, this fruit is a combo king. With its powerful moves and high stun potential, you can easily rack up bounties in PvP. It's versatile too, working well whether you main fruit, sword, or gun. It's got AoE for days and can damage C events, which is always a plus. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's tough to get, has high mastery requirements, and can be countered by certain fruits like T-Rex or Kitsune. Plus, it lacks mobility, which makes it tricky against runners or sky campers, but if you can get past those hurdles, Dough is an absolute monster in PvP. Gas might not be as flashy as the others, but it's got its own set of tricks up its sleeve. It's a great combo fruit with solid grinding potential, especially with its elemental immunity. It's fast, stands on water, and has a decent defense boost. However, it can be a bit hard to see your opponents with all the particles flying around, and it drains your meter fast even when you're not using moves. Still, if you're into a more tactical, combo-heavy playstyle, Gas can definitely hold its own. Let's not forget Yeti, a fruit that's all about big hits and even bigger combos. While it's not the best for grinding in the early Cs due to its high knockback, it makes up for it with great stuns and powerful moves. Plus, you don't need a meter to transform, which is a nice little perk. The damage is high, but it does come with a larger hitbox, making you a bit of an easy target in PvP. Still, if you're looking to play aggressively, Yeti is a solid pick. Buddha is another fan favorite for grinding. If you're trying to level up your mastery quickly, this fruit is perfect. It massively increases the range of your M1 attacks, making it a beast for farming, especially when combined with swords or fighting styles. The damage isn't bad, and most moves have large AoE. However, it's not the best for PvP. Its hitbox makes you an easy target, and it's countered pretty easily by ice. But if grinding's your thing, Buddha is hands down one of the best fruits for the job. Last but not least, we've got Mammoth. It's a fruit that packs a punch with its massive hitbox and impressive damage reduction. The jump height is insane, and it can absorb a lot of damage, making it great for tanking. However, it's not the fastest fruit on the block and doesn't deal as much damage as other beast and mythical fruits. The large body can make you an easy target, and the slow movement speed can be a pain. But if you need a tanky fruit with solid defense, Mammoth might be your go-to. So there you have it, some of the most powerful S-tier fruits in Blox Fruits. Whether you're grinding, PvPing, or just exploring, these fruits have what it takes to make you a force to be reckoned with. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.